So in the past, as you well know, and our dear listeners know,
Yes.
I've had a lot of ideas.
Mhm.
A lot of ideas. Some of them are
Occasionally.
really good.
Some of them
Eh,
are.
some.
That's all.
Some. We'll take some.
Most ideas
We'll
are
allow
bad,
some.
so yes, some are good. That's good.
Most
Mhm.
ideas are bad, so some are good. Um, now but like the cost benefit hasn't always been there. And sometimes
Yeah.
I've just ignored that
Mhm.
anyway, to my own detriment. But now the the calculus is extremely different on what makes
Mhm.
sense to build out. So we can use a concrete example. I tweeted this week that I built out like a tool for my blog to like selectively edit an image to remove part of the background but not
Yeah.
the entirety of the background, right? I wanted a little bit of artistic control, and be able to like create this effect that I am going for. What the effect is not terribly relevant, but I was trying to create an image with a certain effect. And I could have taken the image out of my blog's backend and put it into Photoshop, which I know how to use, despite what people on Twitter
Twitter is
were
so
telling
bad,
me.
man. I don't know. It's
I
so
have
bad.
been I have been using Photoshop since I was like
Yeah.
9 or 10. I told somebody it was since I was 12, but then I later calculated it. And I remember the Women's World Cup in 1999. I remember creating like cool desktop backgrounds of the US women's team because I was like so
Yeah.
pumped that we were so good. And that in 1999, I was 10 and I already knew how to use Photoshop when I was 10. So to all the random Twitter haters that definitely
Oh,
listen to
yeah.
our
Sure, sure.
podcast, they definitely are here. I know how to use Photoshop, but here's the thing. I'm already in, the
Yeah.
back end admin area. I already have the photo. I'm writing the article and I want to just tweak the photo for the purposes of OG
Mhm.
images only, right? So instead of downloading, opening Photoshop, saving it as a PNG, re-uploading it back into this area, I got to build an
Right.
upload, widget anyway. I just walked over to Claude and was like, hey, here's what I'm trying to do. I need basically like a JavaScript canvas and this kind of brush where I can
Yep.
do this kind of thing. And it took about 30 minutes of back and forth
Yep.
and I was done. And it works exactly
Yeah.
like I need it to work. It's not a Photoshop replacement. I'm not pretending that it is a Photoshop replacement. But what it does do is it puts the tool that I need with no extra things in the
Yeah.
context in which I need it, right? And I think the context is probably a big deal. Um and so after having done that, I just felt like, oh, the bar for building things generally, but tools specifically, is so much lower now because I can literally do it in 30 minutes and not, pretend that I can do it in 30
Yeah.
minutes and it takes
Yeah.
a week and a
Right.
half.
Exactly.
That's what it used to be. It used to be like, oh, this will be quick. And then, a week later, I've
Right.
wasted an entire week. So that was one of my big realizations, which I will let you opine on. But I posted the tool to Twitter, and many people liked it, and several people
Yeah.
just despised it.
Anti-crowd.
The artist class rose up and were like, "Congrats, you reinvented!" And I'm like, dude. One, I'm
Right.
not trying to sell this to anybody. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that this is novel. I think
Right.
that this is useful, and they didn't care, so I blocked them all. So that's my first meta
There was a
principle.
guy in there with like
What do you think?
something about MS Paint or something, or is that you demonstrate? There was some crazy shit
Yes,
in the Twitter. I was like, this is like you've
some
lost minutes of your
crazy
life, gone, never to be back, reading some insane
gone.
things. This whole episode, let
Mhm.
me tell you, it's like Neo looking at the Matrix. I feel like there's gonna be so many interweaving touch points here. Like it's all coming together in this episode. But anyway,
Yeah.
first of all, this is
Yep.
like a whole isn't you're even generating the image through your back end, right? Yeah, this is a
I
whole
am.
thing.
Mhm.
And so,
I am.
yeah, like to be able to
Yep.
edit that, you generate it and then you edit it and it's all right there makes total sense to me. Yeah, I thought it was
Yep.
great. I thought it was like, super cool. I couldn't believe how cool it was. I was like, wow, this is like super cool. Like he's taking out the
Mhm.
background. You're got a thing where you're painting along the edge of something and it's
Mhm.
like not over
Mhm.
it's respecting the
It's
edge. Like,
respecting
I
the
was like, how the
edge.
hell do you even do
Yeah, it
that in
was
JavaScript?
cool.
Claude knows everything.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I thought to me, this is like so this is one of my big kind of takeaways, as I've been thinking more about AI is like this touched on it exactly, which is the maintenance and daily work stuff is like everybody right now I feel like is focused on, like, especially on Twitter, it's insane. Everybody's like, look, I'm building a new thing, I'm building a new thing, I'm building a new thing, right? It's like we could build so much faster, we could build so much faster, new product, new whatever, right? And I think that's like almost like the totally wrong take. It's like the revolution is what you did, which is like I can now maintain the thing I have so much more quickly and easily, or I can make improvements to the thing. I already have this good idea. The good idea
Yes.
exists. Now I'm just using
Yes.
Claude to let me improve it in 30 minutes instead of 2 weeks, or more likely never, because you just wouldn't ever get around to doing it, whatever,
Never.
all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. That's where like the revolution is, because you already know you having a blog is a good idea in your case, right? Like this is how you sell things, how people
Correct.
learn about you. This all makes total sense. That's not in question. The only thing in question is how good can you make this thing you already know is a good idea. And now this is going to really help you make it good, faster, better, stronger.
Yes. I am not I think that's a salient point. I'm not creating uh like a big white screen that
Right.
says chat with AI. Like that's the apparently the only idea that anyone has ever had
Yeah.
when it comes to building with AI is what
Right.
if we add a chat box? And it's like, sure, but instead, what if, you have a system or a process or something that is functional that has 50 paper cuts that could save you 10 minutes to an
Yeah.
hour a week or a day? Well,
Right.
spend 30
Yes.
minutes building a tool to do that,
Yes.
and then it's fixed forever, right? And so I think based on most of the Twitter hype, it is like, let's build something completely new with
Right.
dubious usefulness. And I think what smarter people are focusing on, or what people should be focusing on, is how do I improve my workflow? Not necessarily like my development workflow, but like my
Yeah.
production. Like, how do I make it easier for me to be a human producing
Mhm.
good things on the internet using AI? So let's use AI, which is non-deterministic, fuzzy, wonky, kind of weird, getting better all the time. Use AI to build a tool that is deterministic, that meets
Yeah.
your exact needs, so that you can become the one person factory machine output
Right.
content
Well, and
god,
in the
whatever it
past,
is.
right, you had to use general purpose tools, and general purpose tools were the best tools because it's like, well, I
Yes.
could build this background editor thing, but that's gonna be very difficult. Nobody's built a background editor thing because there's not a market for just a background editor thing. So I have to use Photoshop.
Correct.
So Photoshop will be in my flow and show Photoshop. I mean, it's called Photoshop, and everybody in our industry hasn't used it to edit a photo ever, right? Like people are like, we're slicing up files and we're doing web design in it, right? Because it's like whatever, it's
Yep.
general purpose image editing, even though that's not its original thing, right? But now it's much better for you to have this purpose built tool that does only the part you need instead of Photoshop, which does tons of other stuff. It's very complicated, blah, blah. You don't need any of that stuff. So now you can have all these bespoke things, which either would have been hard to do or impossible to do before.